I don't know much about TEF1. Where did it come? I mean, this is legitimate. We haven't rehearsed this. Where did it come from? Who are they? What's it about?
Yeah.
And how did they hit such a home run with their footage? Because I commented this in my last video. When I was watching the TEF1 footage, I felt like I was watching Fox Sports. It was like a legitimate broadcast. Like, they were like, "Oh, we're going to throw down to Drew Elliott on the trackside," and it's like everything was clear. It was amazing.
We have a full production team that's now on board with us for this entire season. They just signed the contract. I think they announced it, but they're going to be our full on board. So it was legitimate broadcasting. Obviously, Brett and Pete were in the booth there. They were doing their thing. All of our microphones, everything, video cameras were all very much professional style things. They had a whole crew of like 5 or 6 people running around and were doing all of the professional stuff. They had huge screens, cameras that were mounted out in the field. Both of our FPV pilots, who are absolutely insane, they're incredible, but they were able to live stream from their FPV drones on there. It was full production of just a crazy amount of production value.
My thing with this is that sorry, Thomas, I'll just say one thing. With this, it just proves it can be done. It proves it can work when you have the right people.
Yep. Yeah, it was brilliant. And this race alone, the professional ESK8 was nuts. That's Jack and Gilong that went toe to toe. Jack, I think, said he hit 67 or 68 miles an hour in the straightaway on his skateboard. It was
that's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the advertisement was done properly with the companies, and for the first time, I've seen it on a live event. There's almost like this, I think, unacceptable expectation that companies take the brunt of the fees and the costs of the events to make them run. Yes, obviously it helps them in the long run, but I do think that the advertisement they've done, the shout out to the sponsors and all that stuff, it was the first time I'd seen a company truly appreciate what the sponsors were doing and doing it the right way.
Those professional, high quality things come from a group who are really highly trained and know the job.
The difference there is that, and just using Drew as an example, they could have invited Drew to come, or they could have brought Drew in as part of the team. So his only thought process is to do his job, and that's the difference. That's what makes it go from being a hobby to professional.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, all of that planning, all of that stuff that's behind the scenes, logos, QR codes, breaks, cuts, talking to the sponsors and having the sponsors have their own media kits as well too, because that was one thing. Like, InMotion was a title sponsor, so InMotion wanted to make sure that they had their videos and their commercials essentially. So when we were cutting it to commercial, which we did have commercials, like have that type of video up there. So a lot of those kind of companies, like we were like, months out, we're like, we need something from you guys to be able to post up there. We're not just going to be like InMotion on here and then call it a day.